Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective, and I actually have something on my mind that I wanted to get to you folks because if I don't and something happens, then I'll feel like at least I could have said something. Title of the video: China's coming. Are you ready? Why did I say that? Well, things are starting to point at conflict. As you guys know, we're always on the edge of conflict with somebody, and if the cabal of this world had a choice, we would be in perpetual war for eternity so that they could continue to run their drugs and human traffic and all the stuff that goes along with that. But this one is, we're going to call it a little bit more serious because just yesterday I heard I was looking over some reports and stuff, and China basically has said that they have a 500,000 person force ready for, it's an invasion force, as they call it. The 500,000 person invasion force for when Joe Biden, and the keyword for when Joe Biden is elected as president. Well, we've already had Nancy Pelosi state that she's been doing her continuity of government briefings, and the president will be out of office no matter what, whether he likes it or not. So she's already threatened. Now we've got China saying that they have put together their invasion force for when he is elected. Now, another thing that's going on, and I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but China is a huge swath of this country is under 6 to 9 feet of water. And they have a thing over there called the Three Gorges Dam, which was I guess they called it a masterpiece of modern time. They tried to compare it to the Great Wall of China. But here's the problem. When they built this thing, they went down to what they call the hard pan. And they started pouring their concrete and doing their backfilling and things like that. They didn't go down to bedrock. Now, the significance of that is hard pan moves. It's susceptible to earthquakes. It's susceptible to saturation from excessive moisture. All these things that can go bump in the night. The bedrock is far less susceptible to seismic activity and definitely not susceptible to saturation of moisture. The reason I say this is because the Three Gorges Dam is moving. It's got a huge amount of water behind it. These guys apparently have records that go into the thousands of years in history, and they can't find one that shows flooding of this significance. But the dam is moving. There's a threat of collapse. Now, if the dam collapses, it's going to mess with about 400,000 people, 400, not 1,000, 400 million people in China. And it's going to devastate some of the larger cities with potentially 28 feet of water. Now, if you stand outside your house, you might notice that your roof line there is about, at best, you're going to get about 10 feet. So if you are in a single floor home, you are going to be completely underwater if you're in China. If you're in a two-story home, two-story homes are 24 to 28 feet from foundation to top. Guess what? A two-story home is going to be completely underwater. The significance of all of this is where I'm going next. Took me a minute to build up, but I had to explain to you what I got on my mind and why. The backstory. Now, if you can imagine a food shortage in a neighborhood right after a hurricane, everybody's running around trying to find food, the ones that didn't prepare. Well, there's no food to be found, so people get aggressive. They start getting angry at the National Guard that show up to throw MREs out of the back of 5 tons. They start yelling, they start getting aggressive, maybe fighting. Well, that is just what you would call a a city scale or a county scale. That would be a local event showing the frustration of humanity and agitation when food is not right at hand. I want you to imagine that scenario with a country of almost 2 billion people. You got 2 billion people. Their land is absolutely saturated. Their foodstuffs are going to be depleted. Their crops for this season are definitely toast. They may not even be able to get the soil dried out enough for next season's crops. So you're talking about an entire country with no food. Imagine how that's going to turn out if all of a sudden we over here in this country have successful crops and everybody's eating, and all the pictures of the gatherings, especially at Thanksgiving, everybody's sitting around the table. Imagine those pictures going over to China where everybody's counting their grains of rice to make sure that each family member gets all 5 grains of rice that they were promised. And then think about the aggression that's already being shown by China towards this country, because we're slapping them around a little bit. We're calling check to their move because they keep screwing with America, and it's because the cabal and the left have been helping them for many, many years. Well, when they see everybody over here enjoying the cuisine, they look at our crops, the drone footage, beautiful sunsets showing over the cornfields in Iowa, the hay, the wheat, the grain, everything that's just wisping in the wind. And China says, we need to go get that. They might not come here first when they run out of food, but you think World War III is going to start because of a president said something mean to another president, or we need some of that oil over there so we can get our machines running a little better. No, that's old school stuff. Nobody gives a damn about minerals anymore. Those are tools that are used to profit for the elites so that they can pass their money back and forth to each other. That has nothing to do with most of us common folks. Food has to do with everybody. If you can't eat, you're going to get pretty mean. If you can't feed your kids, hey, settle. If you can't feed your kids, you're going to get pretty mean. So we have already been told that there's an invasion force of 500,000 waiting to go. Now we see that China is facing a devastating flood that it's nothing less than biblical. And then you see that their food and everything, come on, pup, get out of there, it's going to be gone for at least the next planting season. We are at risk of food wars based on country to country. I just needed this to get out here because I need you guys to be ready. You need to be training. You need to be packing up your supplies, because they're not going to come after the military and everybody else in this particular event. They're going to be coming after you at your home, because that's where the food is. They don't need to go attack the fields because those aren't going to help them. They still have to process everything. But in your cabinets, in your pantry, anywhere that you hide your food, that's where they're coming to. And it will be a direct threat to the individual of this country. And there will be marauding gangs, basically, food collectors, that are going to come door to door and get everything they can. You think they're going to leave you a little snack to eat? No. Probably going to shoot you on the way out the door or on the way in. So you better be prepared for this crap. You better be training. You better be armed up. You better have your supplies. And you better have a backup supply too. Take some of the time and effort it needs to hide food. put it where if you got overrun and you had to fight your way out, you had to make a break, and you got out of your house, they're going to take the food, and you're going to come back to your house. If they don't burn it down, it's going to be empty. So you better have another place that you have some stash of food, so that if you come back to your house and it's empty, you can still eat. But the other thing is, anybody who thinks, oh, World War III, they're going to drop nukes on us and everybody's going to destroy everything. Do you think that they would be that stupid? If their mission is your food, why would they blow up the only option they have for food? It's not going to be that way. It's going to probably start out with small gangs. Chinese soldiers that are over here wearing plain clothes, and it'll start out with food gangs. But it's going to escalate. So I wanted to get this out here to you. You need to be aware of what's going on. China's been itching to come at us anyway. So heed the warning. Do what you need to do. Be ready. And, at least I have said this, and you know what to look for now. And I guess we'll wait and see how things happen. If you like what I have to say, make sure you hit the like button, share it with your friends, ring the bell, get your notifications, do all that good stuff. And I will try to keep up on things and tell you when I get something specific. But until next time, y'all, stay in the fight.